Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Shine a Light International Women's Month series. I'm Charisse Hilton, Design and Implementation Executive, and I'm delighted to be joined here by Maria Sanchez. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being here. So for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
So I'm Maria. I work in the services marketing team for the MX division. I was born in Colombia in South America, a very big family. I have 3 brothers and a lot of aunts and uncles. I grew up in Colombia, but I traveled a lot as I was growing up. So my parents were in university when I was born, and we traveled for them to get their specializations in medicine. We lived in New York and we lived in Belgium. Wow. So I was exposed to a lot of cultures, languages, people, a lot of diversity growing up. We then returned to Colombia, and then I left home to go to university. I studied in Milan. I went to university there, and then after I graduated, I moved to the UK. I always wanted to live in London. I always wanted to be here, so I got on a plane and just made my journey over.
Amazing. So out of all of those places that you visited, where's your favourite place?
Definitely England.
London.
Yeah,
London's
definitely London. London has been in my life and in my vision board, for lack of a better word. Since I was very, very little, my room had like a cork board, and every time I traveled to the UK, I would paste postcards and pictures and phrases about London. So yeah, I wanted to live here my whole life.
Amazing. Love that for you. And so your background and your role right now is marketing.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your role and what you do here within Samsung?
Yeah, so I work in the area called Connected Services. So this is all the services that Samsung provides for our customers, including Samsung Pay, Care Plus, Health, and the area that I look after is SmartThings, which is our home service, but also looking after your property, so looking after your lost phones with SmartThings Find. And we recently launched SmartThings Energy, which is a new proposition for customers to help understand how they're consuming energy and how they can save energy.
Oh.
So it's a really lovely area.
Yeah, it's exciting. And how would you say you got into it? What was the journey per se?
So the journey started, I think, when I got to the UK. I always knew I wanted to study, to work in marketing. And I have been in consumer electronics and technology my whole career. I started in BlackBerry many years ago, selling SmartThings and smartphones, sorry.
SmartThings is up there right now.
It's definitely in my heart all the time. Selling smartphones, and then I moved to Apple as a buyer for the online store, and we launched the app-enabled accessories category at the time, which was the nascent part of home automation, fitness and mobile devices, gaming, like toys that you connect to your phone. So that's how I got into the home area. I then moved to Nest with Google Nest, and then came to SmartThings. So
amazing, and now you're here.
And now I'm here.
What an amazing journey.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. So as you know, the theme of International Women's Day is Break the Bias. What would you say is bias to you, and what is your earliest memory of experiencing bias?
It's a really interesting question, and one that I have actually thought about a lot. I grew up, as I said, in Colombia, in a really big family, and I had a very strong grandmother and a very strong mother. So I had 2 incredible role models of women that were leaders of the home, leaders of the family, and leaders of the business. Growing up, because my parents were studying, I lived with my grandmother, and she was the head of the family, but she also managed the family business, which was a cattle ranch.
Wow, amazing.
So I would see her like buying grass, buying salt, negotiating the price of cows, like in the markets. And then her house was like the hub of the town, and people would come to her house, and it was always filled with life and people. So to me, like, women could do anything. We were superheroes. My mom equally was super strong. She was one of the first female surgeons in Colombia. She brought a lot of technology and innovations into medicine in Colombia. She was the president of the Gastroenterology Association of Colombia. So I didn't understand bias. And I think when I moved to the UK, I looked different, I sounded different, and I expressed myself differently. So when people started talking to me about things that I should change or things that weren't as natural, I just thought, oh yeah, it's normal because I don't look like people that live here.
Out of interest, what sort of things did they propose for you to be doing?
So for example, you can see that I move my hands a lot when I talk. One person told me that I should sit on my hands when I was talking because moving my hands was very distracting to my audience. And I just thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna sit on my hands, put them away. So I think my reaction to those comments was more like, oh yeah, I need to change. I need to adapt. I need to figure out how to blend rather than standing out for my differences. I only learned about bias through the journey that I think the entire humanity is going through, of understanding that these things, the differences, should be celebrated rather than hidden. And so even though I experienced it a lot, I only understood that it was bias fairly recently, probably in the last couple of years.
And out of interest, from the sounds of it, you've experienced a lot of firsts, from your grandmother being the leader of the business, your mum being the first surgeon for, what was it, gastroenterology?
Yeah.
That one.
I can't even say it.
How much of an influence would you say that's had on your career and your confidence going into roles and, standing in your own as a woman?
Yeah, I think it's had a lot of influence. I think every time I feel insecure, or every time I kind of wobble, I do try to channel that energy, and I kind of have those conversations with my husband and my family as well, and they're like, you have that power inside you, believe in it, like you have that strength. So yeah, they've been completely influential in every way. My mom always said to me, like, you can do whatever you want. When I moved to Italy, I actually went to Italy for 6 months. And then I said to my mom, I was studying engineering in Colombia, but I said, no, I need to take some time off because I'm not sure I like engineering. I want to go to Italy. And my mom just went, yeah, go. Like, there's nothing you can't do. We'll support you. Just go out there and do whatever you want. And when I said to her, I'm actually transferring all my course to Milan and I'm going to switch to economics and business, again, she was like, yeah, why not? Do it. There was so much support and there was so much energy again. And my grandmother, well, she always wanted me to come back home, but she was always also super supportive. She was like, yeah, they make me believe that I can do anything, even at times where I don't believe that I can do anything. So yeah, they've been monumentally instrumental. Sorry, that's not a word. But
it is a word for today. No, that's amazing. And I love how you touched on the why not, So many women have been placed barriers systemically and internally as well. They sort of place their own barriers on themselves. But then when you challenge yourself and you have other people challenge for you as well to say, well, why not? And question that and believe in that question, you can do so many amazing things. And yeah, I think it's great that you attributed that to your grandparents, your grandmum and your mum in particular. Yeah. So now in terms of Samsung, how do you think that mentality has shifted the way that you navigate spaces within the company?
I think that, wow, that's a very interesting question. I think that for me, it has always been about, I had my board with pictures of the UK. I still have this idea of where I want my career to go. and ambitions of what I want to do. And I think I just kind of keep focused on that and keep track of my goals and question myself all the time. Is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I presenting myself in the best way? Am I bringing my best self to work every day? Is this getting like my heart pumping? Am I jumping? And then I kind of I'm still quite instinctive. I think I let those feelings kind of guide me. And I think that's how I've kind of navigated a lot of things. It's just like what feels right, what doesn't feel right, and if it doesn't feel right, what do we need to do to make it feel right?
It's amazing. And you're part of Women at Samsung.
Yes.
It's amazing. I love the EIG. I think it's a brilliant initiative. For those that don't know about it, can you tell us a little bit more about it and what we're trying to do for Women at Samsung in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to create a community for women to feel empowered, to own their career, to own their journey, to own their voice, but also create a community where we can go and share experiences, talk, and understand how we can start making positive shifts towards increasing the representation of women in the organization, especially in leadership levels. So we want more women to come into Samsung to feel that this is a place where they can grow, where they can have a great career. My role is education lead, so I'm looking at programs to help women own their careers and understand that they can create a plan, they can navigate the business, they can look for opportunities. So trying to get those tools and knowledge to people so that they can grow within Samsung. And then that will help us retain women at Samsung as well and keep them in the business. There's so much great talent. There's amazing women doing incredible things. And we just want them to stay and feel at home and feel like they have a community to support them.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's always about attracting talent, but most importantly, retaining it as well. Out of interest, going back to the whole gender bias theme of International Women's Day and breaking the bias, what do you think we could do here at Samsung to help break that gap?
I think right now our community of male allies is really, really important. I think we still have a majority of male representation. So I think that building that community, bringing more people into that space, and working with them to help promote women, help women be heard, celebrate what they bring to the table, invite them to the table when they're not there, and making sure that we are seen and that they kind of sponsor us and mentor us and bring us in the journey is still really important. I think the other thing, particularly for me, is I feel like we still see diversity as let's look for the 99 things that feel similar, and then the one thing that is different is diversity. I think we need to start celebrating the 99 differences and looking for things that are more unique.
How do you think we could do that?
I think it's a journey for all of us. I think part of what this amazing team with DT, Chloe, yourself, doing these Shine a Light sessions, I think highlighting the ERGs that are in the business, I think highlighting the great work that is coming from all areas of the business, and really, shining a light on everything that happens at Samsung outside of the big projects that are super visible is going to be a great start. Because,
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. And on the topic of shining a light, it's all about sharing our experiences, but it's also about celebrating success as well. Have you had any empowering yes moments where you feel like, I am so proud of that, I did that?
I think my entire journey of coming to this country is still an incredible yes moment for me. I think I like I said, I'm quite instinctive, and a lot of times I've done things and then I look back and I'm like, oh, that's a bit crazy. But I graduated from university in Italy. I came to the UK. I didn't know anyone, and I didn't know like how to even apply for a role in the UK. And within 3 months, I was working at a great company in marketing. But that was just me, like, writing down lists, making, like, target companies that I want to work with, asking questions and grinding the pavement and knocking on doors. And I think that it's one of those things, like when you feel like you're lacking a bit of confidence, I always go back to that and I'm like, no, I could do that. I can do anything. That was big.
Back yourself. Yeah. That is my theme as well. Thank you so much. Just to finish up, we've got a few quickfire questions. So the first one is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Keep an eye on your North Star, like remember your goal and believe in yourself. I think, like everyone, I've had moments where I've faltered, and it's one of those things that has left me, either my confidence that I can do it or my clear vision of where I want to go with something. So I think that, those two things just... My grandmother used to say, strap your boots on and keep going.
That's it.
That's it.
Because times are going to get tough, right? But you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Love it. Second one, what advice would you give to any women or young girls looking to get into marketing?
I think don't be intimidated by the things that you don't know. I've discovered that sometimes I feel like I need to have all the answers. But you can learn, you can educate yourself, you can train yourself, you can learn on the job, you can ask for help. Like, if that's really what you want to do, don't let fear or intimidation stop you from pursuing it. I really think we are capable of anything. We just need to put our hearts into it and keep, just go.
Go for it. And last one, in 3 words, what does gender equality mean to you?
So,
3 words, Maria.
To quote The Mandalorian, it is the way.
It is the way. It is the way.
Oh, God.
4. I'll let you off. It is the way. I love it, though. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode of Shine a Light. Don't forget to check out more episodes next week.